Very well, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome back to another cast with Trend Following Tyson. And what we're going to do here is welcome to this analysis. This is going to be continuation in October. We're just starting out the month, but we do have a slight look at what's continuing, where the trends are at, and what should we be following, and where should we be sitting tight at. Remember, even if we're following the trend, guys, that doesn't mean nothing if we don't take our entries and we don't sit tight, because that's the only way that we're going to gather these points. I mean, we're not going to get all these points back in a day or two. I mean, these trends are running from 0 to 50, and that's from January to October, January to May, May to November to the end of the month. So we need to be staying firm, holding these trends, and voila, that's kind of strange that I was thinking about that. And Richard Dennis is totally correlating this. So let's jump into the trend. Let's take a quote from Richard Dennis, and then we'll jump into the trend picture, and we'll just keep this thing rocking here and keep hitting these home runs. So a good trend following system will keep you in the markets until there is evidence that the trend has changed. Just basically what I was just saying. We need to be a good trend following system will keep you in the markets until there is evidence that the trend has changed. And why is it a good trend following system? Why is it quote unquote good? Is because you're profiting from it as long as you're sitting tight, as long as you're in the trend until there's evidence that it's changed. So these trends that we're following now, of course there's not evidence that the trends have changed, or else they wouldn't be on our list. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's stocks you guys probably seen us looking at a few of them, and if you look back now, you're like, hey, what the hell happened to such and such stock we were looking at such and such time? Well, guess what? If you look at HMNY, it fell off planet Earth. It's at 0.00. It's at 0.04. Do you think we're going to be following those kind of stocks? We're buying stocks that are in uptrends. Nicholas Darvis said the only reason why he would even buy a stock is that it would be in an uptrend. Other than that, there's no other reason that's even needed to buy a stock. That's straight off Mike Covell's audio. So I mean, plain and simple. All right. So let's take a look at something else. I got something else special from Richard Dennis, and then we'll jump into the trend picture. Okay. We'll take a real good look at where things are continuing starting off October. When you have a position, you put it on for a reason, and you've got to keep it until that reason no longer exists. So whatever reason we're entering these trends, we should be following them until that doesn't exist. And we're not talking about a slight pullback or a slight consolidation and things like that. I mean, we're not talking about that. Okay. So we need to keep our positions on, just like a good trend following system will keep you long until there's evidence that the trend has changed. Okay. We need to keep our positions, okay, that we put on for a reason. Richard Dennis, you guys know, one of the best trend followers of all time, teacher of Jerry Parker and a whole bunch of, the original Turtle Trader and the teacher to Jerry Parker. So a lot of wonderful things coming from this man here. So whatever he says, you kind of take hold. I sent out the tweet on my Twitter page that said, you know, if you want to, and I think it was from Stephen Burns, but if you want to be great, you kind of have to resemble greatness and just shut up and listen. So that's what I do. I just listen to greatness, and I just shut up, and I kind of try to resemble the great. So business as usual, guys, with that beautiful quote from Richard Dennis. And let's jump into the trend picture and take a look at continuation in October, okay? So TRVN broke out. I don't really like chasing things, but as you see here, in 3 months, we had some consistent movement here all the way from the 24th of October from the 24th of September all the way into October. And we actually started kind of lifting off here a little bit. Some higher highs consistently moving right here, and this was kind of proof that something was going on. And then you had the breakout here. You could have bought that breakout. So I'm just showing you this because the market cap, everything matches here, and this thing's breaking out. So we'll see what happens here. So in the last 3 months here, you see this thing started moving sort of in September, kind of had this pop here in price and lifted off here as well. So that thing looking good. Kind of overall this stuff here. So we'll see what happens with TRVN. All right, stop yourself out below, you know, regular things like we always do, 330 and 320, and this is going to be the final really level right here is 304. That's going to make it, but I'm not sure if it's going to not hold that support level. These trends have been holding up these gap up levels really well lately, okay? So we're looking, man, you guys know when we follow these kind of trends, a lot of our stuff's not going to end up on the red side of the momentum scanners. We're going to, a lot of times with good solid price movement that we're following, we're going to end right up on the right side of things, okay? So we were following ATRS. We started adding it down here, and we got a pop. Remember, we were talking about adding ATRS because it was down in this area. We were talking about it holding support, holding up this little line here, and as we were adding it and holding, sitting tight, we got a mega pop today. Mega pop. Now we're at the top of this thing. We'll see what happens, and you know it pops and then it starts coming back into itself. So major pop on that thing, about 70 cents or something like that today. Something stupid on ATRS. Glad I was long there to enjoy that. DNR, you guys remember we're following this thing back here, and we liked it. We were just talking about it recently on the show coming into the week, guys. So one thing about this show, ladies and gentlemen, one thing about this, when you're kind of trading here and when you're kind of rotating with us, so to speak, we're gonna be following a lot of stuff to the upside, and we're gonna get a lot of moves. But we were looking at this thing coming into the week before this even happened, before all this movement this week started happening with DNR, from it going from 610 up inside this area. We were already watching it. It had already been on the show. See, this is on the 3rd that this big move happened. So we had been eyeing DNR for what it was doing and all the moves that it had made, because it made a big pop here and started holding up price. So DNR for long, continuation. NOG kind of sitting, that's that oil and gas, you guys, oil and gas. I know there's a lot of biochemical and a lot of bio stuff and a lot of pharmaceutical stuff running, but look, we don't argue with price, we just follow it. So NOG curling on this 5-year time frame, hitting that the 220 crossing on the 5-year time frame, but you see prices curling there on the 5. I really like that because this is our home run signal. Price is curling on a 5-year time frame, and then you're going to see that strength on the 1 year. I really like Northern Oil and Gas with a stop below 4 something and some change. Let's see what we got here on the 5. We're going to show some strength on the 5. So below 415 and 405. But I love that for continuation. Now you can get a ride on that NOG now. It's not like you're buying something that's parabolic like IMMP. It's not dangerous. And that brings me to another point, guys. We like to follow consistent price action. It's not that I don't like buying things like IMMP and all this other stuff like that, but look, we're not going to get caught in the middle of some type of ruckus thing here, okay? We just can't afford that. We just follow consistent price action and follow these trends to the upside, okay? So MRNS for continuation. I'm long on this thing. Kind of bought some of it when it was breaking out over 9, and then it popped up here and kind of came down on itself. But I knew it would. Actually, when it came into here, I started adding, and then we got a pop up towards 9 again. So I'm enjoying this MRNS thing. Sitting tight and seeing where it's going to go, but we're already over this. We were over this pop. We popped up over this big breakout level here, so I'd imagine that prices will continue back over this 944 if you look to the left here, and then this chart might start opening up. And if it does decide to open up, it's gonna it can cover some prices. If you look over here to the left, we're looking at 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20 if this thing can get up. But I damn sure can see this stock being a $20 stock. Just depicting all the moves that we've been following. Now, I'm not guessing anything, but I'm saying off the moves we've been following, a lot of $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 stocks. When a stock goes from 8, and then inside of 10, normally when they get into 10, they start opening up towards 15, 16, and 17, and it could be a $20 stock. So IMMP just taking signals as usual, curling on this time frame here, on this yearly time frame. Actually, that was a 5-year. So price is curling, lifting off that launch pad. As you see it on the yearly, prices at the top here, top right over here. So you know this thing pops and pulls back, pops and pulls back, pops and pulls back. So it's pulling back here, and we'll take a look at where it's pulling back at. It's going to be really thin. I don't like it that thin. It's still really thin. So popping up, pulling back in this area here. So I like it at 370. I like it with a stop below actually 350 over here. Okay. Got to give these stocks some space to move around at. We're not placing stops hoping that we get stopped. We're placing stops to protect capital, but we're placing stops so that we can enjoy these rides, guys. Okay? So that when the stock craps and totally reverses on itself, like the quotes we just heard earlier, opening up the day from Mr. Dennis, okay, until evidence that these trends have changed, we're not dumping out on them. CRBP looks kind of decent. I like it to look better than that, but that's all right. This is okay, I guess. Just consistency in this price action here. So I like this with a stop where it's at, below where it's at now, with a stop below 730. But it's holding. I like to buy it now where it's at the bottom of this candle, and it may pop out towards 750 and towards 740. So give it a stop at 735. Okay, can't have a really tight stop. So I like that to the upside, and we'll see if it can keep closing up here and kind of follow this trend it's making here, and then maybe it will approach these higher highs at 950. I really liked it. I really like for stocks to break out of their yearly ranges so that they can start opening up some chart space. CSBR, I'm long this thing. I got whipped around a little bit here, but we'll see what happens. I was just kind of trying to ride this move up here. And when I started riding this move, it came back. But I still have my position here because I know things get whippy and then they continue. So if this thing starts closing below 13, I'm out, though. But it actually added some weight, added some ground because it was near 13 somewhere down here earlier. So I like it to close. I like it for continuation. CSBR has all the criteria that I like for it to match up, even though the market cap could be a little bit higher. CSBR, you see this, what I was telling you guys, it came down near my stop below 13, but found itself here and covered up a lot of space actually. So I like this thing knocking down this, and then I like it to knock down 14, and let's see if it can knock down some prices and start continuing up. But you see pullbacks in the chart, continuation. Pullbacks in the chart, should be some continuation coming up, just based off. I always base stocks off of what their activity is doing. I don't base it on anything else. I base it on what that stock is, how that stock is behaving, how that trend is moving. Okay. CSBR for continuation. AMC, and then we'll get ready to close up. You guys enjoy the week. All right. Trade safe. Manage that risk in any case, and we'll be back here on Saturday. Okay. AMC, this movie thing, I like it on the yearly. I really like this thing on the yearly, just continuing. I like for this to continue, so I like to buy this thing where it's at now. It shouldn't be too choppy on here, so I like to buy it where it's at now. You can get a stop below 19, below these prices here, 1950, 1940. Okay, AMC, I like that for continuation. ABEV, I don't know. Let's see what's going on with it. This is some beverage stuff going on, all right? I don't like trading that kind of stuff, but if this thing gets moving, we'll be on top of it. We won't be behind it, okay? ABEV. It popped up on the scanners, maybe because it's just wiggling up here. So I like it where it's at now to close up towards 1480 and, set up for some continuation, okay? See if it can open up on this chart, see what happens here. All right, so you guys manage that risk in any case. Happy trend following. And last but not least, ABR. Kind of like this area it's holding up in to take it long and up to the top to follow this strength out through the markets. Okay. All right. So you guys manage that risk in any case. Happy trend following. Have a good Thursday and Friday. Good trading. And I'll see you guys back here on the weekend. We'll see how this week closes out. We'll see where our continuation's out, and we'll take it from there because we're not damn sure won't be trading any losers. Okay. All right. Happy trend following. Manage that risk.